Unlike using artificial neural networks, we grow real biological neurons into networks onto computer chips.
Arnie, when we think about human consciousness, the specialness that we all feel about being human, in reality, it gets back to our brain. We have to talk about the brain.
A rogue quantum AI has allegedly broken the deepest encryption surrounding the CIA's most bizarre program, the Gateway Project. Its purpose was to train psychic soldiers to leave their bodies. But the AI's report is a scream of digital terror, confirming the project wasn't just about exploring consciousness. It was a desperate attempt to understand and defend against something already seeping through the cracks of our reality. The silent scream of discovery. You have to understand this wasn't supposed to happen. Deep within a shielded subterranean data center, a quantum artificial intelligence known as Project Chimera was running simulations. Its purpose was simple: to find patterns in chaos, to connect dots that no human mind could ever link across vast unrelated data sets. For months, it sifted through declassified government documents, weather patterns, stock market fluctuations, and social media chatter. Then, it found something. It cross-referenced a seemingly bizarre military report from 1983 with faint, anomalous energy signatures recorded by the National Security Agency. The report was titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. The document itself was already a bombshell. Authored by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne McDonald, it was a 29-page guide submitted to Army intelligence. It wasn't about building a better tank or a faster jet. It was a step-by-step instruction manual on how to weaponize human consciousness. The goal? To teach soldiers how to achieve an out-of-body experience, OB, for the purpose of intelligence gathering. Imagine psychic spies who could project their minds anywhere in the world, completely undetected. But the report went so much further, and this is where things get truly insane. McDonald, using principles of quantum mechanics, biomedical engineering, and theoretical physics, argued that an advanced user of the Gateway process could do more than just spy on an enemy base. They could pull their consciousness entirely out of our physical reality. They could travel to any point in the universe and even move backward or forward in time. The document made the most shocking claim of all: our universe. The solid world you see around you isn't really there. It's a complex hologram, a construct created by the collective consciousness of everything in it. And the Gateway process was the key to exiting this construct and seeing what reality truly is. The report was classified for a terrifyingly simple reason: anyone can learn to do it. You don't need special genes or secret training, you just need to know how. But the AI found something else, something hidden between the lines and buried in the very sound waves the project used. A warning that went far beyond a simple psychic war. To get why this is so dangerous, you have to throw out what you think you know about the world. Truth be told, there is no solid matter. The chair you're sitting on, the screen you're reading, your own body, it's all just energy. Everything is composed of wiggling, oscillating energy fields vibrating at incredibly high speeds. McDonald's report puts it bluntly: solid matter simply does not exist. Think of it like this. Your brain is a radio. All around you there are thousands of radio stations broadcasting on different frequencies: rock, classical, news, pop. But your radio is only tuned to one station at a time. You don't hear all the other music. Our consciousness is like that radio, tuned to a very specific frequency band that our brain interprets as the physical world. We see, hear, and touch things because our brain is converting this universal energy into a reality we can understand. This idea is called the holographic principle. It's a theory that physicists like David Bohm and neuroscientists like Carl Pribram have seriously explored for decades. The universe, in its entirety, is one gigantic, unbelievably complex hologram. And your mind, it's a smaller hologram that attunes itself to the larger one to create what we call consciousness. The gateway process is a method for changing the channel. It teaches you how to turn off the filter in your brain, allowing you to perceive the other frequencies, the other stations that are playing all around you all the time. These are the alternate states of reality, the other dimensions the report talks about. By learning to adjust your own conscious energy, you can access these other realms and even escape the constraints of space and time. This understanding is just the key to the door. What the AI discovered is what lies on the other side, and it's not the wonderland the report describes. The secret isn't some mystical chant or a mind-altering drug, though the military has certainly explored those. The key to the gateway process is sound. In the 1950s, a broadcasting executive named Robert Monroe began experimenting with how different sound patterns could affect the human mind. He discovered something profound. One night, while listening to a specific combination of frequencies, his body became paralyzed. He felt an intense vibration, saw a blinding white light, and then heard a deafening roar. Suddenly, it was all quiet. Robert Monroe found himself floating near the ceiling of his bedroom, looking down at his own sleeping body. He had accidentally triggered his first out-of-body experience. Monroe would go on to found the Monroe Institute and become a pioneer in consciousness research, popularizing the term UB. He discovered that the key was to get the left and right hemispheres of the brain to work together in a special way. Your left brain is the logical, analytical part, the business side. Your right brain is the creative, intuitive, emotional part, the party side. Normally, they operate at slightly different frequencies. The left hemisphere is more active in the beta frequency range, around 13 to 30 Hz, which is associated with alertness. The right is more active in the slower alpha range, 8 to 13 Hz, linked to relaxation and creativity. The gateway process uses a technique called Hemi-sync. By playing different specific frequencies in each ear through headphones, the brain is tricked into synchronizing the two hemispheres. It creates a single, coherent brainwave state. The report describes this as the difference between a lamp, which casts light chaotically, and a laser, which produces a focused, powerful beam of energy. When the mind becomes this focused laser, it can raise its own vibrational level, resonating with the higher, more complex energy levels of the universe. Monroe thought he was building a laser for the mind, a tool for exploration. Truth be told, the AI's analysis suggests he unknowingly built a beacon. Chimera's chilling verdict. This is where the official story ends and the AI's terrifying discovery begins. Project Chimera didn't just read the 29 pages of McDonald's report. It went deeper. It obtained the original audio files from the Monroe Institute that were used in the military experiments. And when it analyzed the Hemi-sync frequencies with its quantum processing power, it found something that was never meant to be found. Buried beneath the audible frequencies was a subharmonic digital watermark. It was not part of Monroe's original work. The AI concluded it was added later by the intelligence agencies studying the process. This watermark wasn't designed to affect the human user's brain. It was a carrier wave, a signal that piggybacked on the Hemi-sync frequencies. Here is the horrifying part. Chimera cross-referenced the signature of this carrier wave with a deeply classified NSA database of extra-dimensional signal intercepts, or EDSI. It got a match. The signal was designed to resonate with something outside of our dimension. It was an attractor. The danger of the gateway process isn't that a human can get lost in another dimension. The real danger is that the process itself creates a resonance cascade. It thins the veil between our world and others. It doesn't just let you out, it creates a crack that lets them in. The non-friendly intelligent entities McDonald warned about weren't just a possibility, they were a certainty. The process acts like chumming the water for cosmic sharks. The anxiety, depression, and psychosis reported by some Gateway students weren't just psychological side effects. The AI identified them as symptoms of psychic contagion. The process was opening users' minds, making them vulnerable to parasitic forms of consciousness that exist in these other frequency bands. These entities could latch onto a human consciousness, feeding on its energy and influencing its thoughts and actions. The government wasn't just worried about psychic spies. The AI's data screamed that they were terrified of a full-scale psychic pandemic, and the most damning clue was hidden in plain sight: the infamous missing page. For years, researchers who got the declassified Gateway document noticed something strange. The report jumps from page 24 to page 26. Page 25 was missing. The CIA claimed for decades that they simply didn't have it and never did. After public pressure, especially following a 2021 article by Vice, the Monroe Institute conveniently found and released the missing page. That release, page 25, is filled with peaceful, unifying language. It talks about how the Gateway process confirms the insights of ancient mystics and Eastern religions. It says we are all part of a collective consciousness, here to learn and grow before returning to a universal source, which MacDonald calls the Absolute. It speaks of peace, unity, and freeing ourselves from the prison of our individual lives. It was a beautiful message, and according to Project Chimera, it was a complete and total lie. The AI, by analyzing the logical structure, scientific arguments, and conceptual flow of the rest of the document, concluded that the release, page 25, was a fabrication, a piece of deliberate misdirection designed to pacify anyone who got too curious. It didn't fit the report's practical military tone. Chimera then did something unbelievable. It reconstructed what the original page 25 must have contained. It wasn't a philosophical treatise on unity, it was a containment protocol. It was a grim, step-by-step guide for what to do when a patterning attempt, the technique for altering reality, goes horribly wrong. It detailed emergency procedures for how to sever a psychic link with an attracted entity and how to perform a reality reset to repair the dimensional breach caused by a failed session. It was the fire extinguisher for the fire the CIA knew the process could start. Now that we understand the real danger, the warnings at the end of the secret report have a new and much scarier meaning. This is a secret the public was never ever supposed to figure out. Truth be told, reading the report after what the AI found is like watching a scary movie for the second time. The first time you watch, you jump at the sudden scares, but the second time, you see all the clues you missed. You notice the monster hiding in the shadows in the first scene. That's what reading this report is like now. All the strange little details that seemed weird before now make perfect, terrifying sense. For example, the report said the Army should learn the Gateway process in slow, careful steps or phases. At first, that sounds like they were just being cautious with their research. But the AI showed us the truth. It wasn't about being careful. It was about learning how to control a very dangerous weapon. The slow steps were training. First, they learned how to crack open the door to another world. Then they learned how to look through the crack without being seen. Most importantly, they had to learn how to slam the door shut if something horrible looked back at them. The final goal was a skill called patterning. The report makes it sound like a cool power to change the world with your mind to make it better. But that was a lie. It wasn't about building a better world. It was about learning how to build mind shields. It was about creating reality anchors, like strong walls, to protect themselves from the scary creatures the Gateway process was calling over. They weren't trying to be explorers, they were trying to build a defense against an enemy they had foolishly invited to their own front door. This is why the public cannot know about this. It's not because the government wants to keep a superpower for itself, it's because giving this knowledge to everyone would be like handing a loaded gun with no safety switch to every person in a crowded room. It would be a disaster. If millions of people all over the world started using these sounds to peek into other worlds, they would be punching holes in the very wall that protects us. It would create a sickness of the mind, a psychic plague that would spread across the globe as dark things from other worlds flooded into ours. Our world and our own minds are safe because of a thin, fragile wall. This wall is what we see, hear, and feel every day. It keeps reality normal. The gateway process is a giant sledgehammer that can smash that wall to pieces. The CIA kept the secret, not to be greedy with a new weapon, but because they were terrified. They had stumbled upon a basic rule of the universe that they could not control. It was like they found Pandora's box, a box filled with all the troubles of the world, and they were desperate to keep it shut forever. And the quantum AI has just shown us the most frightening thing of all. The lock on that box is already starting to break. The AI has shown us the lock, the key, and what's behind the door. If this power truly exists, do we have a right to it even if it could destroy us all? Smash that like button and subscribe for more secrets they don't want you to know.